The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here he is, Brandon.
Ahoy, and welcome to the Brandon Peters Show as we meander from the Summer of 86 at 40 series and step back onto the horrors of Val Lewton for our fifth installment. And of course, that means today joining me, the author of Silver Screen and Red, White, and Who, and programmer of Chicago TARDIS, Stephen Warren Hill.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. We've reached our last film of 1943 that we're covering. That's a crazy outfit from a production standpoint for any job involved with any of these films, whether you are producing it, acting in it, writing in it, directing it, set design, 5 films in a year, especially when like Cat People was a hit. So I imagine more commissioned off that. That's an insane turnaround.
Yeah. Very much. This movie came out on Christmas Eve in 1943. So a cheerful, happy Christmas movie.
Have those Christmas legs at the box office, they like to say. The holiday season legs. Yes. The movie we are talking about today is The Ghost Ship from 1943. If you're on YouTube, you can see one of Steven's excellent... Steven, plug your shop real quick where people can get those. If you're watching the title card shop.
I have T-shirts with movie title screens from movies that you might like, including all of the Val Lewton movies and all of the Universal horror classics. And that is on Redbubble, and look for Shill 66.
All right, excellent. This one, The Ghost Ship, it's directed by Mark Robson, or Robeson.
I think it's Robeson.
Robeson, yeah. Written by Donald Henderson Clark, on a story by Leo Mittler. It stars Richard Dix, Russell Wade, Edith Barrett, Lawrence Tierney, Ben Bard, and Edmund Glover. This was Roy Webb returns to compose it again, and Nicholas Musaraka returns for the cinematography. This one is about a third officer, Tom Merriman, accuses Captain Will Stone of being a homicidal maniac, but no one believes him. This film started out not this time wasn't a title. It was, hey, we made this really expensive ship set for the 1930 movie film or 1939 film Pacific Liner. So can you make a movie using this? And Lewton walked on set, was inspired, and according to urban legend, he took this story to subtly criticize the micromanaging for the heads of RKO Pictures. There was a controversy with this film, as there's a plagiarism lawsuit that came through from Samuel R. Golding and Fritz Falkenstein, and they claimed that Lewton based it on their 1942 play A Man in His Shadow, which they had submitted to Lewton, and the film was then, those two win the lawsuit and the appeal, and the film was taken out of circulation because of this, it was not seen again until it fell into public domain in the 1990s. However, there was a package deal that RKO of movies they sold to television in the 1950s, and it did air somewhat on TV in the 1950s before that was noticed and pulled. So if you were lucky enough, somewhere in the 1950s, you might have seen it. Also, really interesting note on this, Criswell served as the technical consultant on this film. Criswell of Ed Wood fame. That Criswell worked on this movie. And then if you look hard enough, or if you spot something familiar, ship in fog scenes were taken from King Kong, 1933's King Kong at certain points. So It's a little background on the ghost ship. Stephen, take us away with your history with the ghost ship.
Okay. So this I watched it today, and that was my sixth time seeing it. My first time was 94, which predates the gigantic Val Lewton Laserdisc box set that we've talked
Mm.
about in the past. I actually recall purchasing a bootleg copy of this movie on VHS tape at a convention because it was unavailable.
Video nasties, the ghost ship.
and I needed to see it.
Mhm.
So I didn't do that very often, but I remember buying the Quatermass Experiment also as a bootleg, and maybe Equinox. Um, so it was pretty rare for me to do that. But this movie I saw and at a convention on a dealer table, and yeah, I got to buy that. Um, I have I remember my first reaction, and I still have mostly the same reaction now watching it, is that it's pretty lightweight for a Val Lewton movie. Um, it's it feels lightweight on first view.
Mhm.
The more you watch it, the more you pick up and realize that there's a lot more going on than at first seems. But still, overall, it's kind of light. It's kind of single-minded and not deep and not terrifying. Not Doesn't have those high points. Um, but we'll get into that in detail. So my initial reaction was a little bit of slight disappointment. I've grown to like it more over viewings over the years. Um, and then of course the Laserdisc came out, and I saw a better copy of it. um, I quite a long time ago bought the movie poster one sheet
Oh, okay.
um, from an auction site quite a long time ago. I still buy movie posters, but this was a very early purchase for me. So I've now got a few Val Lewton posters. This is one of them. I like the poster design. It was cheap because it's one of the lesser known, less popular Val Lewton movies. So if I had tried to get a Cat People poster, I probably wouldn't. Or I Walked with a Zombie, I probably wouldn't have been able
But
to
more so because
afford
it
it.
was taken out of circulation, kind of. That's kind of why.
Yeah, right. So, and that is just it. I've read stories about how many screenings it had at this function or that function, and it exceeded uh, screenings of the popular, the ones that you think of as popular,
Mhm.
by a great amount. But that's just the thing; people hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
There were no ways to see it unless you bought a bootleg off of a
Right.
movie.
Yeah. 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 Because yeah, box
Um,
office receipts were pretty good till it got pulled.
yeah. Um, so there's my first observation here is that there's really nothing supernatural in this movie. And we've had I haven't really analyzed it closely, but I
Hmm.
feel like we've had at least some degree of no, that can't be true, right? Leopard Man doesn't really have that.
Right. Right. Yeah. This is that because I had in my notes. I'm like this title of the movie is misleading, but it also is not. Like because
Yeah, right.
the crew believes it to be a ghost ship, but the movie is never shows us never we the audience never believe it's a ghost ship or
Yeah.
haunted. Like that's part of the thing. So it's kind of the title like, hey, I'm going to watch this movie The Ghost Ship. Okay, and you sit down into it and you have to watch this multiple like cuz the first time you watch it you're expecting something
Yeah.
else, you know? And it's not at all what a title expectation. Like I remember I said like The Leopard Man, bad good movie, bad title. We're running into this again here with the Ghost Ship, I I don't know if in 1943 that bugs people or not, but
Mhm.
or if they view the movie differently, if the vibe of seeing something like this without another 80 years of movies tacked onto it does. But this is only I think the second or third time I've seen this one, but
Yeah.
it's always like, oh yeah, this isn't there's nothing, no ghosts. There is a ship. Yeah.
It is, cycling back to me saying it's lightweight. It's there isn't a lot of there is a lot of tension in this movie, but that what there isn't a lot of is uh, Val Lewton's touches. We don't really get Lewton bus. We don't get a long walk with atmospheric noises. We get
Hmm.
some other atmospheric noises like the chain and the hook swinging.
Hmm.
And there is the ultimate creepy moment in this movie, I think, is when he thinks he's pretty sure he's convinced that the captain's going to try to kill him,
Hmm.
and when he returns to his cabin at night, somebody's busted the lock on his door.
Right. Yeah.
And then he spends time setting up this elaborate trap so that a light will come on if somebody opens the door while he's trying to sleep. And there's tension that gets built out of that because
Hmm.
I mean, you think somebody's going to be killing you and all of a sudden you can't lock your door, but you have no place else to sleep. I would be a little scared too.
Right. Right.
um but really this movie is about uh a psychological disorder, right?
Hmm.
And um it's all human interaction, and I think it gets a lot of mileage out of that. It's what makes the movie interesting to watch, and interesting to watch more than once. To see how he makes so the third mate is it third something.
Hmm.
The radio guy calls him Tertius because it means third. Um, he's the character that we're following. I would argue that Richard Dix as the captain is the main character, but the character that we're following, uh, uh, his name Russell Wade,
Hmm.
Tom Merriam is his character's name. He makes quick friends, especially of the radio operator.
Hmm.
We call Sparks. And the thing is, his friends turn on him very quickly when
Yeah.
he accuses the captain of negligence slash murder,
Mur-
um, uh,
Murder in the form of or negligence in the form of murder.
yes. Uh, they feel that he's wronging the captain and that you need to stay loyal to him.
Hmm.
And it's uh, a little bit scary when you apply these principles to modern politics, when you think about it in that regard.
Yeah. Well, it's that guy who
Loyalty.
comes into a place and wants to start a union, and it goes, "Oh, wait a minute! Oh, wait a minute!" That's basically what this is.
Yeah.
Like we can't. You gotta
Um,
need some safety
and
practice.
one of the things that I found extremely interesting watching it this time is I never really registered the significance of. There's a scene where Richard Dix is talking to uh, this lady friend of his. They're on in between voyages. They're on shore, and he's basically telling her, "I think I'm going crazy,"
Yeah.
and he's not. He doesn't try to do anything about it. It's a little creepy to realize that he knows that
Hmm.
he's losing it, and yet he's not going to give up what he has, and he's not going to admit it to anybody else. And he realizes he's dangerous, and yet and then I wonder about Richard Dix's performance in that regard as we go through the movie, because sometimes sometimes his performance feels perfect, other times it feels misdirected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he Towards the end of the film, he shows up with a message that he wants Miriam to send over the
Mm-hmm.
radio, and he says, "Why can't Sparks send it?" And he says, "You'll understand when you see the message that you're going to send." And the message is basically that Sparks has fallen overboard,
Right.
it's missing, and he realizes you killed Sparks,
Yeah.
and he's got this smile on his face, Richard Dix, and it's creepy, but at the same time, it's like, would he be smiling? I'm not sure that that's the right way to
He's
pitch that
confident
reaction.
he's going to get away with it. He's like, what are you going to do? You've already taken me to court and lost out there.
It's true, yeah. Um, so there's a bit of unevenness, in my opinion, with the performances in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is very low key, but you know what? Everything's always pretty low key in Val Lewton movies. So this
Yeah.
is more low key than usual. I think, and Lewton probably, because he got the same budget that he gets with everything,
Right.
but he didn't really have to spend too much money, if any,
Mm-hmm.
on the set because it already existed. That means he kind of had a bigger budget than usual,
Yeah.
but it doesn't show, does it? I mean, it's there. It's not there on the screen. You see the ship, but that wouldn't have cost them anything because it was already paid
Yeah.
for.
I think the most expensive thing's probably the big hook sequence. Probably
Yeah.
there. This big standout moment from it that I could think of that would have added money that probably might not have been of it. Like, I don't know what the set, I haven't seen the movie that this set was used for, but
Yeah.
if they didn't have that hook, then they might have had to
Yeah.
put in for that. But
And possibly the chain. They may not have had the chain.
yeah.
That would have not been cheap. Um, Get me a battleship chain.
Yeah.
um, so that's that. Then they're also absolutely worth talking about. Two of the best set pieces in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The chain, the hook, swinging swinging very, very, very slightly, but they all know that it's going to get worse.
Right.
And of course, Miriam reports it to the captain, says we should do something about that. Captain says, "No, we just painted it. You're going to ruin the paint job. Leave it alone." He tells him, "Leave it alone." And by the time night falls, this enormous hook is swinging wildly. And this thing is, I would not go near it.
Right.
I would find a way to pretend like I'm doing something else or something. I would not, because wow, that's one of the scariest things to see that. I mean, there's no way to stop it. There's no way to, you can't get hit by it because you'll get killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real kind of a showstopper moment, but even that is kind of low key, right?
Right.
It's a hook and it's swinging. The other moment is the chain locker. There's a chamber underneath the deck where the chain is let down into, and they need somebody inside the locker to sort of start laying it out, so that it doesn't just pile up in the middle and overfill the chain locker. So he's down there and he's got a hook and he's sort of moving it around, and you can see this if you're watching on YouTube. You can see the chain locker in my background, and the captain casually walks by and closes the door,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy inside the chain locker doesn't notice until he needs to leave.
The guy inside is the feature film debut of Lawrence Tierney.
Lawrence Tierney,
Which is great. Yeah.
And I always thought this was one of the most gruesome, creepiest deaths on film, but I'm gonna lighten, I'm going to soften that now because this time watching the movie, I noticed a couple of things. Well, first of all, I've always kind of wondered about people who get buried under solid material that gets
Hmm.
dumped on them. Um, when it gets dumped on them at a pace that's slow enough to keep pulling your feet out and standing on top of it.
Yeah.
Now, I admit that it might not be too easy to stand on top of a chain, but there's also, I noticed, footholds, footholes in the side wall of the chain locker. You can see one of them
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're watching the YouTube video right there, and they're all the way up the wall. He could have simply climbed up higher to get out of the way of the chain and been fine. So, very creepy death, but I wish somehow I hadn't noticed the escape
Maybe
route.
maybe they ADR in my ankle. It landed on my ankle. I can't lift it. Oh, that yeah. It is a creepy death in thought of just like nothing
Yeah,
you can do. This chain, this giant chain, slowly consuming you till you just are drowned in it.
because he can't
Smash
call out because it's too loud. Nobody's going to hear him. He's
too
screaming.
loud till too
Nobody
deep,
hears him.
and the captain just there. And I think like even more like shocking too is the interaction of Miriam and Stone like right after just
Yeah.
where just like did you I think you just killed like
Hmm.
what's what's going on? He's like I don't know. He's
Yeah.
like I
Yeah, I
really
didn't like him.
yeah, well, he's kind of kind
He
of a
was a
jerk off.
troublemaker. Yeah.
Yeah, what happened? And like yeah, just that haunting conversation to where it's like Miriam's like I'm new here, but should is this how we do that? Like it's just and there's the added thing that we're out to sea. Where am I gonna go? Like, and everybody like this, the crewman would probably be like, "Yeah, it was an accident, unfortunate, but like that type of thing, or it's the ghost of the ship." Don't you know we're on the ghost ship?
Yeah. You should be ready for these kinds of things.
Yeah. So yeah, I really I do like that interaction that follows that too, and just this they're just alone in this corridor, and you see the door on the other side. There's a dead person there, murdered. Like, but we really while we see the whole thing from Stone's point of view, Miriam comes in, and we're just like, oh man, like he missed it, and you could just understand his like, I'm putting things together here, and it's really well played and fascinating to me how that comes out and plays out with their little conflict and conversation and like what do I do here like what it's yeah because you got a guy who's fresh in there, probably more modern than everybody else on the ship, coming in at a later time. They're all harnessed, trained, and homogenized to everything that goes there. And then he's this cog that's like, wait, hold on, wait, we're all not because everybody comes across as like very monotone
Yeah.
at the time, and then there's the mute guy that's on there too, who gives our they I swear I read a review that referred to him as a Greek chorus for the film because we get a lot of voiceovers to hear
Voiceover, right?
his thoughts and such on it like that. And his voiceover is more animated than anybody else on the ship.
Yeah.
Because they're all monotonous. The radio guy Sparks, he's a bit more of a character too, but he's the link to the outside world because he's on the like so he's got a different personality, of course. But um, that scene really goes to, and then the flip around of the courtroom drama where you're like, okay, someone's gonna nope, none of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, okay, and then.
Even even the guy whose appendix is about to
Mhm.
burst,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
the
there's
captain is
that scene is a good scene. That's a
yeah,
really
yeah.
for not showing anything there. It is suspenseful because you see the knife, and then when he does cut into him, we have the shot up here of just watching him work.
Mhm.
Because we do have that surgery scene where it's supposed to be telegraphed over the radio, and just I'm like, oh geez, man, stuff for olden times. But that's really intense too. And then we get then we go quickly to the courtroom scene where Miriam's just like, all right, we're doing this. We're taking him in, and it just backfires, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh. And I'm like, and you put up on, and you're like, there's still like 40 minutes left. There's still a lot of
Yeah.
movie left in it. We're halfway through. Um,
So the script I think is very clever that Miriam gets, the ship goes into dock
mm-hmm,
and he leaves. He's done.
mm-hmm,
And there's an accidental fight that transpires that where Miriam gets cold cocked and he's
mm-hmm.
and Sir Lancelot, if I remember right, his character sees him, or he's there when it happens, or he finds him, and he thinks he's still the third mate and needs to get back onto the ship. So he
Yep.
brings him back onto the ship
Uh-huh.
where he does not belong anymore. But that allows us to have the whole journey back, the return journey,
Right, because
with
you're like,
Miriam on board.
where's this going now that he's not on the ship anymore? So
Yeah.
it reminds me of when I was a young one, my early years. I went to kinder care for a while, and then things didn't go to kinder care after a while, and my parents pulled me out of it. I didn't go to kinder care, and then I was under the supervision of my grandfather one day, and he was just decided he was done with me and decided to take me to kinder care. And I'm like, I don't go there no more. I don't go there anymore, Grandpa. And he took me there, and they were like, yeah, he doesn't go here anymore. Like you can't drop him off here, sir. That's how
Wow.
cool I was to my grandpa. I was like, done. We'll just drop him in kinder care. So,
Wow.
so yeah, I felt for Miriam in the moment. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
Not
So
that not that I'm accusing kinder care of murdering kids or being a ghost ship on its own.
no
Just
other association.
just I got
Yeah.
taken back to where I wasn't supposed to be, and I swore up and down I wasn't supposed to be there. But yeah, that's a creepy thing. Being it's like, oh, now we're back to sea. Now we have laid all the cards on the table.
Yeah.
Just
He wakes up and he's back in his cabin where he definitely does not want to be.
nope.
And he takes it somewhat in stride. He
Hmm.
goes to the captain and he says, "Look, Captain, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be here, and I apologize." And the captain is sitting there eating his meal, and he's just not saying anything.
Yeah, it's just
Miriam, then there's this long silence, and Miriam decides he's got to say something else,
yeah.
and he says something else. More silence, and he's like uncomfortable silences. He needs to keep filling them. Where he
Hmm.
really should have just shut up after the first thing he said.
The person who stays silent has the upper hand.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and
it's like,
he's also got this weird look again, this creepy weird look on his face while he's eating. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, he's putting in. I mean, he's putting in a nice performance here. For being like a little background. If you're not familiar with Richard Dix, he was a big silent film star, and he didn't have a hard time transitioning into talkies. Like I think he got an Academy Award nomination soon after, but like at this point in his career, he's this like he signed on for 5B pictures for them, and he kind of got shoved onto this movie just to crank one out to move along through this contract. So, but he's a pro putting in the work, and it's like you and I have said, we've complimented like man, he's doing some interesting stuff here. Um, really has a presence taking over this movie.
Yeah, I mean, he does do a good job. I just question some of his choices
Hmm.
along the way. But overall, he turns in a good performance, especially towards the end when we really see him start to lose it.
And if he's an actor and he feels like he's slumming it in B movies, maybe he's not slumming it, but he's like, I have this avenue where people aren't going to pay close attention, and I can experiment and try new
Mm,
things. And maybe he's using that as an arena to just make choices he wouldn't, or see how this works out and move along.
yeah. So I think we're also seeing Edith Barrett again.
Yeah, kind of
She's
feels like a shoehorned like Like,
Yeah.
we should probably have a woman in this to sell it character because she comes in like right in the middle while they're at land and interacts with both leads and
Mhm.
disappears.
Yeah, yeah. She doesn't really have too much effect on the plot, or the only real importance here with her character is uh, the captain talking to her about how he thinks he's losing his mind.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that I don't know if that really actually, I mean, does that change the way we see the movie for him? Like, do if someone's losing their mind, do they know they're losing it? First of all, is that a thing? Is that a philosophical question or a psychological question? I don't really know. Um, and if you think you are losing your mind, if you think you're dangerous,
Hmm.
and she admits it to, or he admits it to her, and then she seems to be a together person. Why
Yeah.
doesn't she take that information somewhere? I don't get the importance of that scene, but I do feel it is important. So, hmm.
I don't know. Maybe she thinks he's just been at sea too long. I do. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's admitting he's losing his mind, but I think toward the like in the first part of this movie with the one murder we see, and we hear about another person that had died, correct? I believe we hear about someone else that had
As
like
well,
fallen
that when
overboard or
they're taking roll, they
right.
one guy doesn't answer and they
Oh,
find
right,
him
yeah. They
dead on
find
the
him
deck.
dead. Um, I think after the court case, he develops a confidence that he can get away with anything
Hmm.
and nothing, and because he's a lot more devious once they get back on the ship. He's a lot more
That's a good point. Yeah,
he's a lot more overt. He seems like he has a plan um, to get rid of the last two people that might be a problem, or to
yeah,
have the radio guy and then pin it on Miriam or something like that. So I think he has a sense of confidence that if he could complete these last two murders, maybe he'll go back to sanity or
yeah,
something, something like that. So there is a difference in him when they get back on the ship.
yeah.
Like you said, yeah.
No, that's a good point.
So maybe.
So the movie kind of once they finish their return voyage, and there's been a fight with the captain and the Finn,
Hmm.
the character who can't talk, but we can hear him talking
Right.
all the time. Skelton Nags, the very recognizable character actor that
Hmm.
appeared in a lot of RKO movies. Oh, well, I mean, he was in some of the Universal movies too, actually. Um, the Miriam gets off of the ship. We get another chorus of "Blow the Man Down," and and then he in shadow in so he walks off camera. We see his shadow meet up with the shadow of a woman who is Edith Barrett's sister, I think. I can't.
Okay.
It was, I don't know. It seemed like it was. It didn't matter, so
Right.
I didn't try to figure it out. And they walk off, and that's the end. It's the threat has been taken care of. He's not going to get killed. He survives. Captain's done for, and story's over. It's just, is it satisfying? I don't know. I want more.
The bad
I
guys did. The end.
I like this movie. I think it's very good, and I think there's more to it. Like I said at the beginning, more
Mhm.
to it than meets the eye when you first see it.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's one of the lesser of the Val Lewton efforts.
Yeah, there's I mean, in terms of digging into and finding deeper thematics, yeah. I do think this is him going for it more on scale and action. because we have set pieces. We have, the death by chain. We have the swinging hook, and then the finale, the end, is quite something. And I wasn't expecting from it because there was a vicious knife fight. They wouldn't show us the surgery, which is an intense sequence on its own, but we do see blood and stab and stuff here in the finale, which is something I feel like he's been holding back on with the first four films
Mm.
that we had seen. And this one, they've been more clean, suggestive. We see stuff after the fact. But this one, we get to see a whole knife fight at the end of this. During a whole, how is Miriam gonna get out of this type thing. So I think it was more, yes, surface level. It's because that surface level, the focus was on the making some bigger action stuff
Mm.
to it. But yeah, I no, I like this movie. It's just it's kind of a little uneven, but like, yeah, it's interesting. It has scenes to remember and stuff like that, but um, it's not as like delicious as some of the other stuff we have discussed.
Yeah.
Like coming off
Yeah.
the seventh victim, especially, um,
Yeah.
and going to this. But and
Exactly.
I think it does lack because the first four movies that we have watched have all had an such interesting female presence and dynamics, and that's gone here. Like we have an uninteresting, shoehorned into the plot female character because that'll look good on the poster, um, and stuff like that. Like, and I think we're missing that from it. Like, I really have enjoyed the female characters and they've populated them plenty. And this is largely, pretty much an all male all the time movie,
Right.
and there's nothing I just doesn't really go with it, and everybody's always with everybody because of the ship. There could have been some more ominous looming walking around the pier of the ship, and getting some loot and bust stuff like that. But it does have good. It does have the atmospherics. The ship is interesting. It could have been more interesting, I think, with that huge set that you didn't have to build, but you're probably limited because it wasn't built for you. you
Right.
know, so
Right. Yeah.
there is that. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not as rich as the stuff we've been
Yeah.
through before, but it's still pretty good. And I like the character Stone, but like, maybe if they made it like a cruise liner ship with guests on it and stuff, and had a more mixture of genders and whatnot and common folk as opposed to just these workers, maybe more interesting. If Jason Takes Manhattan of Val Lewton films, that's but yeah, so like that's kind of it. Like when you get a bunch of just dudes, you kind of run into this, And I'm
Yeah.
not talking. They're all of a certain type. These are
Yeah.
worker bee, good soldier guys on a ship. Not that interesting character when they're all like that. We don't even get like the guy with the parrot on him being like, "Ah, boy, if you
Right.
hear the legend of the ghost ship." They're all just like, "Oh, there we go."
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
Miriam who stands out, yes, but we need some other guy. Maybe he doesn't have enough interaction with the other guys. We have like the radio guy. They don't. These guys are present, but they're not present. It's kind of like, I'm just thinking of things to fix. Although it's like, I should judge the movie for what it is, not what I'm wanting it to be here. But I'm just trying to think of
Fair
maybe
enough.
where it's lacking. But yeah, I think that's the biggest difference from the first four films is the lack of female presence here.
Oh,
And
good.
I'm not trying to like gender poly, but like it literally has been the
Right.
foundation of these movies up to this point from Val Lewton, and here we are, just
Yep.
absent, and that really has had an
Excellent
effect.
observation.
He
It really
seems,
is.
I think that he's more. I think he writes and does better with females in there than his male. Because like going back to the previous films, like who are the cool male characters? We can remember all the female ones, but
Right.
there have been, not that there haven't been any good, like male characters or whatever like that, but I'm just saying like they have been driven and populated and interesting because of the female presence in them, and now we get way away from that, and it's just like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah,
But
I think it's an excellent observation, and I agree. And I know that I think is Curse of the Cat People next?
Curse of the Cat People is next on the list, so we'll be back to women.
So yeah, and one of the most fascinating characters out of
Yeah.
all the movies too, um, and female. Yeah, no, I certainly think you hit the nail on the head there because that is a significant change from the first four movies that we watched.
hmm I also
Um,
I had to check. So John Lockhart, he I was like, who edited this one? Has they been part of this before? It's the same editor of The Seventh Victim. And this guy, I'm just calling out something I noticed on this film. The dude edited Gunga Din, so
okay.
got a good track record. But
Mhm.
this was a bit messier of an editing job than maybe it got was a victim of too much being part of him. He's just a machine, but there were some really sloppy edits that I noticed a little bit. It's not like if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to notice it. But there's a lot of like same scene, like, and maybe the coverage wasn't there, but like there'd be a scene that like a shot, and then it just like cut up like that, like
Yeah.
in the mid, and then there was a couple mid scene cuts that I wasn't too pleased with. I was like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, is that all they had?" And maybe they were just lacking in footage and coverage. And that's, the editor that sometimes you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and move on.
Right.
But I was just noticed I was like, there was like messier edits than I'm used to. Like these were like the first four movies were these smooth movies that just kind of, and this there was some herky jerkiness to some of the edits that I was like, oh, what? I was like, did we get a new editor in like this for this? I was like, no, he edited the
No.
best movie we watched so far.
Yeah.
So, um, just wasn't here with the ghost ship. And then I want you to tell people about the Blu-ray mishap when it came to
Oh,
Warner Archive in the United States.
yeah.
It had
So
some
the U.S. release of this movie on Blu-ray was paired with Bedlam, and they in after the scan, the raw scan, and when they did whatever processing they do to it, they must have either turned on aggressive denoising or scratch removal,
Mhm.
or somebody actually painted this out of the frames because they thought it was a mistake. There's a scene early in the movie where the captain and Miriam are walking and talking, and they stop by a light on the wall, and there's a moth flying, flitting around the light. And Miriam is about to reach for it to grab it, um, crush it, swat it, whatever. And the captain stops him, and he has this pseudo philosophical reason why he should, let it live. And
Yeah, the dialogue clearly directs to the moth, saying the word
it
moth and
does.
everything else too. Yeah.
Yes. So on the American Blu-ray, because of we don't know what exactly happened, but we suspect it's some kind of digital noise reduction. It completely eliminated the moth from the shot. So they're talking about a moth that you don't see. Um, a lot of people reported that it has not been fixed, as far as I know, on the American release. However, the Region B release in the UK of the same double feature, the scene is fixed on that disc. So when I heard that it was fixed on that disc, I of course had to order a copy of that disc, which is the one that I shared
Hmm.
with you, so that you could actually see the scene as it was
Right.
meant to be seen.
It's so funny, like that stuff happened. Like I didn't even know. And then it reminds me of there was a, I think it was the Dolph Lundgren movie Red Scorpion. It was a scene where he's firing off a bunch of rounds, and the whatever program they used took out the shell casings that were supposed to be
Mm,
popping out of his gun.
hmm.
And that's happened on other movies and stuff too, because they, you're supposed to QC, or you're supposed to be familiar with
Yeah,
the source material, but people run them through programs that automatically do it, and then they're just like, yeah, move
yeah,
on, and then they go to
yeah.
third party QC, and people don't know.
Exactly. You really got you can use automated tools, but you have got to check the results
Yeah.
thoroughly. I was attempting to use filters on a movie that I had recorded off of TCM on
Hmm.
VHS, and it was like in Ultra Panavision. So it was the recording 480 pixels, and it's
Hmm.
this thin, right? And I'm trying to enlarge it to HD size,
Right.
and I I set the filter so high that this was a ballet movie.
Okay.
I set the filter so high that the ballet dancers' legs disappeared while they were dancing.
Aha! Bunch of floating
They were
torsos.
just floating. The legs were gone whenever they were moving quickly. When they
Whoops.
slowed down, the legs reappeared. I was like, "Oh no, no, that won't
Whoop.
do at all."
Nope.
So yeah, you got to watch these things, and
Yeah.
well, eventually somebody will notice it and report it. And a lot of labels are very good at fixing or updating and sending out replacements
So Warner
sometimes.
Archive clearly fixed it, but they just didn't offer a replacement program for
Yeah,
the United States.
yeah.
It's just how silly, silly, silly. But the Moth was on the DVD version.
As far as I remember, yeah, I
Okay.
remember seeing it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh boy. And then
Other than
Warner's
that,
usually,
it looks beautiful on Blu-ray. It's very, very clean.
yeah. Next to Sony, Warner's usually pretty legit when it comes to the restorations.
Mhm.
I just did just was watching one that like I always call like there's a look to like a Sony restoration for theirs and I'm always like I forget I think it was the oh no I just reviewed the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Eraser and I was like
Mhm.
oh this looks like one of the Sony restorations
Uh-huh.
has that look to it. It happens with like a lot of 90s films because 90s films um Blu-ray was not their best friend. But 4K has been helping out 90s films look a lot better um, than they used to. 90s films and black and white films, the best that 4K helps out with. Will we see these Val Lewton film, any more of them on 4K? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I would
Yeah,
love to have Curse of the Cat People in 4K.
yeah, very true. Which that's our next one. We need people come back. Do you have any more on Ghost Ship, Steven?
My rating for it is
Mhm.
83 out of 100. I think most of the other movies that we've seen so far have been in the 90s.
Okay.
Uh, so that's a little bit lower than the rest,
Steep
but
drop from the 90s. Might as well
uh,
give it an F.
I will repeat one more time. I like this movie.
Yeah,
I think it's
83 is a good score.
I like all of the Val Lewton movies to varying degrees,
Hmm.
so that's why we're doing this.
Yeah,
And don't think of it as a low score because 83,
yeah,
like you just said.
yeah. That's I get crap from people like don't understand. I'm like 3 out of 5 is a good score. Like it still is. It's like
Yeah.
it's passing. Like 3.5 is good. Like people get mad. It's like just like when people come up with those like ranking this. I'm like, don't pay attention to the number it's ranked. Just pay attention to if it's included or not. That's all you need
Mhm.
to. Because it's just, no matter how much they want to say, it's someone's personal taste, not a lot of people like to sell their personal taste as a consensus, and that is never true. So all right, well, till next time, Steve, when we talk the curse of the cat people, where can people keep up with you?
You can visit me at Gallifrey Base, the Doctor Who online forum. where I am the owner and raconteur.
All right. Locking up them threads daily. Yeah. Uh, you can find me on Gallifrey Base too. I peruse a lot. I don't post I post intermittently, but I'm normally there to read for information.
Yeah.
In the Frontios section, that's where I hang. But yeah, I'm also on the socials at Brandon4KUHD. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch Steven and myself talk about this, as well as my 4K Blu-ray and DVD reviews. All right, upcoming, I'll be at Days of the Dead that weekend here in Indianapolis, July 17th through 19th. Chris Johnson and I will be doing Poorly Described Movies one of the days. Don't know which yet. And then I will have, it's still in the works, so I'm not going to say anything, but I have something that they're pretty sure can happen, and it'll be pretty special. So I'll let the socials know all about it when I have the green light. So yeah, and then I'll be at Long Island August 14th through 16th, Long Island, New York. And then
I will be there too.
Steven will be there as well. Get your picture with us. Be like, I want someone. If someone's listening,
Cool.
be like, I want a picture with the Lewton guys at the Who convention. There you go. So yeah, it'll be my first one. Very excited to check that one out. All right. Yeah, as Steven and I mentioned, 1944's The Curse of the Cat People is the next one, and this one we resume in July. The show returns Friday with the Summer of 86 40 music video companion series. And until then, stay film positive.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.